Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to America's finest city for the inaugural San Diego Founders Cup. We're with TVX Sports Video. My name is Pierre Charmason with my partner today, Raleigh Corman, and what you're going to see is a rivalry at its best. San Diego State University taking on the USD Toreros.
Good afternoon from the Montezuma Mesa. We've got a beautiful afternoon here for some rugby. I know both of these teams are charged up. We saw some good action in the warm-ups, heard some good communication. These guys are ready to go, and hopefully if you're tuning in with us, you're ready to go as well.
Both teams are well warmed up. They've been out here for quite some time. It's a beautiful day. And let's get to our starting lineup for the Toreros. The forwards, we've got Tyler Shelley wearing number 1, the hooker Logan Tatum. At the other prop, Oliver Kane. In the back, second row, we've got Brian Wright and Christian Welsh. And And at number 6, Joey Varco. 7 is Nick Klassen. I believe he is the captain today. And at the 8-man, Michael Ramos. In the backs, wearing number 9, Mike Lewis. And the fly half, Jordan Sandoval. Inside center, Cameron Wilmer. Outside center, Mickey O'Leary. And the wingers today on the outside, Alex Lim. And wearing number 14, Dylan Farrar. At the fullback position will be Devin Hoovel. And the captain, Charlie Burden. That's for the Toreros. For the Aztecs, Raleigh?
Getting into your lineup for the San Diego State Aztecs, number 1, propping on the left side, Marcos Gonzalez. At hooker, number 2, Andrew Mosqueda. And the other prop, number 3, Seth Trujillo. Your second row, Matt Blake at number 4, Jason Cornell at number 5. Number 6, Charlie Raskin. Number 7, and captain today, Jack Fowitt. And number 8, driving the pack, Joey Litzy.
And back behind the whistle today, the main ref is Barry Zayat. He's being helped out on the sidelines by assistant referees Luann Campbell and Alexander Grieva. Alexander is a second-generation ref. His dad has been reffing in Southern California, for about 30 years.
He's a legacy referee.
Glad
to have him with us today.
As far as colors, it might be a little dark on your screen today because the colors for San Diego State, they're in the dark black with red highlighted numbers, and easier to see USD Toreros, they're in a dark blue and wearing white shorts.
Quick rundown for the back line for San Diego State. Number 9, Elliot Kay at scrum half. Number 10, the fly half, Colin Albert. Weak side winger, Donovan Prince at 11. Inside center, Mosa Al-Bedri at number 12. Number 13, his outside center is going to be Jake Bassler. Number 14 on the strong side wing, Emmett Kim. And your fullback at 15, Christian St. Clair to start things off.
Both teams making their way to the 50. Not sure we've had a coin toss yet. I haven't seen Barry come out to the center of the pitch yet.
It looks like they just finished it up on the far side of the field. The captains are making their way back to their respective teams.
If you are not a rugby fan and you're tuning in, we will do our best to kind of break the game down for you. It is basically the grandfather of American football. And there's a lot of similarities, and we'll try to point those out to you so you're not too confused. It is a fast, fun game. It's been around for a very long time. Created in rugby school, in Rugby, England.
And if this is one of your first rugby games, the kickoff has to travel 10 meters before it can be played, and the kicking team can take possession of it right out of the gate.
We have 2 40-minute halves with about a 10, 15-minute halftime. Ball is kicked off by San Diego State and possessed by the Aztecs. They immediately go to ground and begin the first phase of this game. They're all spread out to the wide left side of the pitch. It's taken in. First phase gains about 5, maybe 6 meters. And the Toreros try to get aggressive, but a little too. So the penalty is given to the Toreros. That gives San Diego State their first set piece. They will kick for touch. Touch means they're going to try to attempt to get the ball out of bounds. They will retain possession of the ball should it go out of bounds. If it stays in, obviously, it is live ball. Kick is made, and the assistant referee, Lou Ann Campbell, has the touch flag up. It's a very simple signal. She just puts the flag up and awards the ball with her other arm. So that's what you'll see from the touch judge. Here's what we call the line out, the first set of today's game. It's basically a gauntlet. They have to be matched in numbers. San Diego State wins that, spins the ball out, and it's quickly gone out to the backs.
Good work there by the Aztecs, trying to get the ball all the way to the other side of the field, knowing that most of the players from the other team are already committed on that near side, trying to stretch out the defense and find those gaps.
Trying to find Emmett Kim out here on the sideline. He's closest to us, but it looks like the forwards are going to control this ball for the first few phases.
USD with a turnover there, able to strip the ball away before the player was brought down, but the ref is going to bring it back for another penalty for the Aztecs.
Didn't see the call. He took a quick knee. I didn't see the signal, but it's a 10-yard march back for the Toreros, and Aztecs looking for that kick out of touch again.
Matt Blake doing a good job there to find touch, giving his team some good territory to work off of those lineouts. The three different options you have when your team has a penalty is to kick into touch, as you said, Pierre, and you retain possession. There's also the option to kick through the post for 3 points off the tee. And then there's also the option to simply just kick the ball across the mark where the penalty happened, which the referee marks with his foot, and then is live play from there. And the team that committed the penalty has to be 10 meters back before they can make a play.
Aztecs strongly taking possession. They are looking to just push this down the center. They've got quite a large pack meaning those first 8 players. They control with the big man, the number 3. That's Seth Trujillo.
Quick pick and go, and he's over the line for San Diego's first try.
He's fired up.
He is charged up.
Seth Trujillo.
Getting the rest of his team charged up as well.
Jake Vassar will take the extra point. So they scored basically over 3 minutes in this game. Here's the replay. Watch Trujillo. He's the largest. I believe this is the setup. Trujillo will be on the left.
You see him setting up there trying to get involved with the ruck.
Just takes it.
Stays out of it.
One-handed pick, and he's over the line.
Did well there to not engage with the ruck. And if he had engaged with another player in that ruck, he would not have been able to handle the ball. So good awareness by him on the quick pick and go.
So the Aztecs draw first blood. They'll put the first points on the board, looking to add 2 more here with the conversion. Easy chip shot, and it's right through the center of the post. Aztecs 7, Toreros 0. It's a beautiful day in San Diego, I'll tell you. The wind is just now starting to pick up just a hair, but it's just a gorgeous day. Not too hot. This is what rugby players really enjoy. We welcome you to our live streaming of the Aztecs and the USD Toreros in the inaugural San Diego Founders Cup. Aztecs take the ball from the kick. They're still in the center of the field. They are very dominant there. Now getting it out to the backs. A slip up in the backfield, but still retained by the Aztecs. The referee has stopped the ball. He believes the ball was basically tipped forward by the holding team, which is the Aztecs. And if you can't hang on to the ball and you do knock it forward, that is not good. That is called a knock-on. So they'll scrum here, and a scrum is basically a way to restart play. So the Toreros, deep in Aztec territory, will have the opportunity to put the ball in. And the advantage of putting the ball in?
Advantage of putting the ball in is that you know when it's going to be put in. And on that one, you can see really quickly USD was able to surge forward, get the ball out, and I believe that's their weak side winger, Alex Lim, who took the ball into contact.
He did, but he got contacted on the floor, and he popped the ball out. So Aztecs again attacking. the defense setting up like a nice wall. USD does a very good job marking all the players to the outside and to their left.
Both teams doing a really good job in the transition there. That's tricky during a turnover, going from your offensive setup to your defensive setup and vice versa. So both teams doing a really good job there. Good tackle by the scrum half, Mike Lewis, for USD to stop that quick surge.
And correction on the captain for the Toreros, it is Oliver Kane. Kane is the number 3, the prop, very large man. And there's another dribble. A knock-on. So they'll set a scrum there. And if you know the word line of scrimmage in football, that's where scrum comes from. Well, that's line of scrimmage comes from scrum, because the line of scrimmage is basically where they put the ball in football to restart play. It's first and 10. If it moves up 5 yards, it's second and 5. Here, it's basically the place where it's restarted. And the advantage, as Raleigh said, is when the ball's put in, he's tapping and no one can see it. It's basically a hand tap from one of the props. The ball's put in. It's sneaky, but and another knock-on by the Aztecs.
Yeah, a little mistake there from Vassar. Just got his feet going a little bit quicker than his hands were. Wasn't able to hold on to that one. He'll be thinking about that a little bit later, I think.
And the difference between a rugby ball and a football is drastically different. A football is harder, more oblong, whereas this is like a pregnant football. Very light, and it travels very quick. And just like a wide receiver, if you take your eyes off of it, no matter how big it is, you're gonna fumble it.
Absolutely. He was looking deadly in that space, though. He had a nice gap, and he's going to be hoping he gets another look at that later.
Quick pop out to the Toreros. They retain it.
Great looping play by the fly half, number 10, Jordan Sandoval for USD.
Yeah, Hoovel got it outside, but the ball is traveling towards the center, back outside to the right, and back inside. So they're moving the ball well. They're just not retaining possession. So penalty charged here. I believe it's a knock-on by the Toreros. So Aztecs deep, I would say somewhere around maybe the 30-meter line, 40-meter line. We'll have the put in.
Getting a good look at both sides' packs here in these first 3 or 4 scrums. And as a back, I never fully appreciated exactly how exhausting that scrum is. But for these teams to be going through 4 or 5 scrums in the last 4 or 5 minutes, those forward packs are working hard.
Ball out to the backs for San Diego State. Split out wide. Again, miscue by the backs. They just can't seem to and I really just think it's depth, don't you? I think these guys are rushing up. They're trying a little too hard in the beginning of the game. They're not giving themselves depth, because depth is your friend in rugby.
Absolutely. You want to run onto that ball with speed, and to do that, you need that little bit of a running start before that ball is really coming your way. There's a lot of timing going into these runs, and both back lines really from both teams, they just need to calm down a little bit and hold that spacing, be a little bit more patient.
Well controlled by the Toreros. Back to the center of the field. Toreros have possession, are holding on. Aztecs doing a good job of not letting them gain anything. Maybe a meter or two.
Yeah, we haven't seen USD get past kind of what you were saying earlier, about that 30, 35 meter mark. So they'll be looking to do that here. They're looking a little more organized defensively as far as sealing off the ruck and then taking a look at their options.
I don't see them really actively moving as quickly as they should either. They're don't know if it's fitness. We just started the game, so it shouldn't be. Toreros do still have the ball. Moving out. The support is there, but up, a penalty. And a quick tap by the Toreros. That's Mike Lewis. He saw the referee's hand. He tapped and he went, and the Aztecs were surprised. He gained 10 meters on that.
I like to see somebody backing themselves up like that, but once you get yourself caught with no support runners in a situation like that, you could be in trouble. I think he did have support in that situation. I like his heads-up play, the quick tap and go. When you have the ball in your hands, you can catch the other team off guard like that. And especially with the field position they're in right now, they can get a try off of a play like that, a mistake penalty by the Aztecs.
Yeah, it's one of those, you're a hero or a zero in that play. You know, you do need your fellow players to run with you. So if you're going to run something like that, you got to communicate it. That is kicked straight out.
Should be a line out for USD coming off that last play. San Diego State probably looking to get out of their own red zone.
And kicking is your friend. When
Absolutely.
you're deep, you want to hopefully have a good fullback with a good foot. The throw-in must be down the middle of that gauntlet. It cannot sway one way or the other, or the referee will call it.
Number 3, the captain, Oliver Kane, with a good carry there.
And a knock-on by the Toreros. So the Aztecs get out of a little bit of trouble. They'll have the put in. Brian Wright, I believe, was guilty of that one. First sign to see if somebody's tired, hands on their hips.
Absolutely. You start seeing players with their hands on hips, bending over.
Good control.
Great job by both packs in that scrum. Keeping things stable, getting a good push in against each other.
Now this is different because the ball touched before it went out of bounds. You will not gain possession. So penalties, you know, you don't want to commit penalties because you get those big kicks downfield and you retain, it's like a double whammy. But that's just a simple kick out, so it's a turnover.
Yeah, one of the distinct differences between rugby and American football is sometimes running out of bounds in American football can be a good move when you're one of your best friends given the situation. And in rugby, you almost never want to go into touch intentionally unless you do have that penalty kick.
Michael Ramos takes it to the center. Toreros pushing up, gaining 4 meters. And a breakaway by Oliver Kane, the captain. He gains another 5 or 6 meters. They're trying to work the left side here. Barely anybody on the right side. The fullback now making a couple of moves. He's a tenacious little guy, but the ball's coming back.
Looks like an offside
Offsides.
penalty.
Rugby offsides is different than football. Pretty close, but you pretty much have to, it's a gentleman's thing. You don't cross over until the guy with the ball he has to be in front.
A lot of what's taken place at the breakdown or where a player is tackled and on the ground, a lot of those things are dictated by the referee's discretion. And you'll hear the referee, if you listen close enough, you'll hear the referee talking to certain players before they make an infraction, telling them, no, don't do that. You'll hear 7, stay out, or something along those lines. And it can help a lot with the flow of the game overall.
Oh, a referee can make or break a game, and a good referee, sometimes you barely hear their whistle. They just, sometimes they'll let it play. Because in rugby, advantage. If somebody screws up, you want to see if the other team can take advantage of that, and they'll hold the whistle. And if they can't, then they'll blow the whistle and bring it back. But Barry's a very, very experienced referee. Glad to see him out here today.
Great work on that last play, that last line out by the San Diego State forwards to steal that away from USD. But we'll see if they can work it out of their red zone again. Good run from Jake Vassar right there, taking a few USD players with him.
Tackles in rugby must be below the shoulder line, so I saw a couple of arm slaps there, but nothing to call. But he's bringing it back to the original point of where it began. See the signal here. It's going to be the Toreros put in. Didn't see the original infraction, but it's Toreros put in.
I think he called it a forward pass.
All passes in rugby must be laterally or behind.
And if not, the result is the same as a knock-on, so it'll be a scrum to the other team. We'll see USD with a slight advantage here.
Mike Lewis with the put in. Controlled well. Sandoval gets it out to the fullback, Hoovel, and they'll hold there. Now making their way back out to the right.
Great work by Alex Kim there.
8-man take. Doesn't gain much. Still Torero ball. Lewis gets it out to Brian Wright. Middle of the field. Out to the center, Mickey O'Leary.
Did well to find a gap there. San Diego State's defense coming up a little bit staggered. And when one defensive player is slightly in front of another, that's where those gaps are created.
I'll tell you, look at Mike Lewis work. This kid, he's not the biggest kid on the pitch, but he's tenacious. And the ball taken to touch. Anytime the ball or the player holding the ball steps on the line, that is touch. So it's a turnover. It'll be a line out for the Aztecs.
Yeah, you mentioned Mike Lewis's work rate, the scrum half for University of San Diego. And when you are one of those smaller guys on the pitch, you have to be that hard worker, and especially at that scrum half position. Usually those guys are some of the hardest workers on the field, and he's definitely doing that for his team right now.
Well, they're always around the ball. They have to be. They're almost like the quarterback of a rugby team, controlling play. There's a knock on. You can simply see that. The hand batted the ball down. Might have been a toss forward. A lot of times, multiple infractions happen. The referee will always take the first one. Let's look at it again. Ball comes out. Yes. You could tell because his arms were sticking straight out, and he didn't even make his fingertips.
Pass just a little bit out in front of him. Definitely something they're going to want to clean up, especially in that part of the field.
Great tackle by the Aztecs. Trying to hold the Toreros. That's Lewis with the ball. He sets it. I believe got taken away. The Aztecs now. Right about the 22-meter line. Equivalent to the 20-yard line. Attempted a kick, but it was blocked by the Toreros. Ball is in the center of the field. Aztecs retain. They're trying to hold him up. If they can hold him up for more than 3 seconds, the referee will call it. The advantage is to the Aztecs. His arm is out, but he reverses it. His arm is now for the Toreros. So the put-in will be for the Toreros inside Aztec territory. There's some guys getting tired here. I see the mouthpieces start to hang out.
Almost a quarter of the way through this match, and both teams have gotten a good look at what their opposition has in their arsenal.
Lewis with the put in. There was a hand. Somebody dropped their hand. You cannot play with your hands in the scrum. Got to use your feet. Got to ruck that ball back, much like a horse who makes that rucking move. Got to use your feet. So hands in. That's a penalty. Toreros back up 10. And the Aztecs will try to go for touch on the far side towards their own tent. Kick is up and definitely out of touch. It'll be Aztecs ball at the lineout. Toreros, I'm impressed though. I really am.
Everybody's been getting a little more organized, both back lines a little more organized. USD on offense, their last string of phases, they definitely had some good depth in their back line, just waiting to get that ball out of there.
And they don't seem panicked either. The Aztecs seemed a little nervous at first, had some fumbles, Controlling the ball now well. Looking for a hole. Challenging. It'll go down. We're looking for a second phase here. Haven't seen a lot of phases. Here's phase 2, a big kick, but he has to put him on. Chase it down, son.
That ball's going to stay in bounds.
Great kick to the fullback. He's got a dance around looking for some assistance. 22. He's got very little.
Great
must release.
There.
They must release. They have to make the ball available. Aztecs take it. Very well done by the Aztecs.
Great work there by Alex Christensen. Did a good job bringing his team onside after that kick by screaming up the field and then making that open field tackle.
Colin Albert saved by his teammate. That ball got punched out. Look at Lewis.
USD
the scrum half.
Possession.
I believe he's calling Lewis for that, but that's aggressive play. And we may have a player timeout. He's getting up slowly. Unlike football, rugby is here we go. Let's look at the replay. Look at Lewis. He's charging. He picked up a leg. He's pushing over. He's trying to be aggressive. But the referee, he says, no, they're diving down, and that's dangerous. Cannot dive.
Yeah, you have to keep your feet when you're going into the ruck. You pretty much have to keep your feet at all times in rugby. You can't go airborne unnecessarily, meaning you can't jump out of tackles. If you're going into contact, you have to take that ball in contact with your feet on the ground.
With that, they choose to go for 3, so Jake Vassar's set up to kick. This will be their first points. Their first 3-pointer. I think the first law, which you should be written, must play on your feet. Period. Can't grapple on the ground, can't touch the ball on the ground. Just, if you don't have the ball, get them. Recycle yourself.
Especially in rugby, if you find yourself on the ground, you are now a part of the ground. You're prone to get stepped on.
Just shaves the outside of the upright.
We should have a 22 drop coming after that missed penalty attempt. USD is going to have to take a drop kick from behind their own 22-meter line.
That's equivalent to the 20-yard line in football. The opposing team can challenge it. The smart play by the Toreros would be to take a few steps back. It's never good to be too close to your opposition if you've got a good foot. So he's looking to go to his right, and he punches it, keeps it in field. It'll take a Torero bounce, and he says he dribbled it.
Another knock-on from San Diego State. They're kind of shooting themselves in the foot with those knock-ons. Wearing down their pack in the scrums. We're 4 or 5 knock-ons so far.
It's so difficult. Again, the ball is bigger. It takes a weirder bounce. When it's spinning like that, it's best to let it spin maybe 1-2 times, because the next time, most every time, it bounces up. Try not to pick up the ball when it's spinning too close to the ground. It's always dangerous. Lewis with the put-in. They cycle this ball out fairly quickly. Taken by the 8-man. And lost. Oh, advantage hand is up for the Aztecs, so the Toreros obviously did something wrong. Let's see if it's awarded. If they don't gain anything. And it becomes a kick fest. Now everybody has to freeze in position until, there we go, now men are on side. And the Aztecs with a juke. Take it to center. They'll set the ball at the center of the pitch. Quickly taken out. Andrew Mosqueda.
Nice run from the San Diego State hooker.
He dishes it to Jack Fote, the captain. Oh, and a big hit.
Big hit from the 8-man.
Michael Ramos for the Toreros. That's free ball, the referee says. Play on. Now the whistle. He'll talk to him. There was a little knock on there by the Aztecs. So Toreros battling between the 40s, I would say.
They had a couple things going for them there. After that missed penalty kick, they had that 22 drop and then the knock-on from San Diego State. So they had about a good minute where things were breaking towards them. Unfortunately, their outside center, Mickey O'Leary, walking off the field, he looks like he might have a shoulder injury going on. He was right in front of our table, kind of favoring it a second ago, and then signaled to his counterpart that he needed a substitution.
We'll get a number on that gentleman who just came in for the Toreros. Substituting on the inside center, I believe.
Looks like it's going to be Paul Habib, number 22, filling in for Mickey O'Leary.
That went backwards, so we're good. Habib pushes the ball a little too hard on his first touch. And the Aztecs looking to go quick. And the referee says no, everyone's there. You can only go quick if the defense is slacking and they're not set up. But if you're set up in that gauntlet, even if one player is standing there, then you have to wait, set, match numbers. And then he'll give the call to put the ball in.
If you're watching that line out at home, kind of wondering what is going on, the forwards from both teams are basically matching up against each other. The offensive team gets to decide how many people they involve in that line out, and the defensive team has to match it. USD actually with a turnover on that one, so they take possession off that line out.
Yeah, Klassen picks it out. He takes it to the center. They're set up for a kick. High kick. Gets pushed back a little by the wind, but retained in field.
That's Dylan Ferrara, the strong side wing, doing a good job to collect that ball.
They move it up a meter or two, but they've got possession. Toreros moving the ball. They give it to the lock, Brian Wright. Trying to control with the forwards. Very few backs back here to our right. They're getting back on the left slowly. They're spread out wide. They are ready to kick again. And a whistle. Again, diving. One of the Aztecs not keeping their feet. That gives the Toreros a chance to kick for touch, push the ball up maybe 10, 20, 30 meters, and get the line out. Good kick. Maybe 15, 20 meters. Not quite to the center line. Wind starting to push. You can see the touch judge flag. So you got to compensate for that as the person throwing the ball, and usually it's the hooker. And there's all kinds of funny codes when you listen to a line out. You know, they'll come up with funny colors and funny names. I remember playing with a guy named Scott Christie, and that guy came up with the most creative names for the lineouts. And it's a little too far to the Torero side. So the choice is, do you want Aztecs to throw it in, or would you like a scrum? And they said, we like our pack. We believe in our pack. Let's scrum this thing down.
Their pack's definitely been doing a good job. USD's been doing a good job in the last few scrums, kind of holding the Aztecs where they're at. But I think USD's had to put in on those as well. So we'll see how it changes here when San Diego State has to put in themselves. And as you said, the reason for that turnover was the ball not being thrown straight down that channel between the two teams.
Toreros doing a fantastic job of pushing that scrum, but an infraction. Now here's a half-staff penalty. That's what I call it, when half an arm goes up. It's not as quite as, bad as a full penalty. So their choice is they can tap the ball and continue running, or if they want to kick it to touch, it would be silly. The ball would be given to the other team.
It's looking like that's
tap and go.
He had me faked out. He did the tap and go. He was setting up like he was going to touch. I fell for it.
Matt Blake. Very tight. Not a lot of room. Not a big hole here. They're controlling the. They're going to go to the strong side, which is their left. And there's Trujillo. He gets a meter.
San Diego State bouncing back and forth between their outside backs and they're inside forwards. Jake Vassar doing a good job to hold on to that ball. Quick pick and go.
You see how Bedry shed that guy like he was a paper. There we go. We got a breakaway by the Aztecs.
Andrew Mosqueda breaking through there, picking up some ground. USD earns the penalty, though.
Hands are in. Again, can't play with your hands in this game. Keep your hands up and off the ball, off the turf.
Just a quick clarification for anybody watching at home. When a player is tackled, they have to be released by the tackler.
It's like a hockey game. Watch the ball. Here it comes.
We'll see if this one finds touch.
It stays in, and the Toreros fumble it. And we have a touch judge with her arm out. So what happens here is she saw something. She wants to speak to the ref. She can tell the ref. She can say, number 4 did this to number 6. So he's calling him over. Yeah. This is where you wish you had a microphone on the ref. They do in pro games.
I think we had the replay up a second ago. I might have seen a high shoulder on that tackle after the ball was kept in bounds by the Aztecs. Referee's going to have a chat here. Possibly.
They normally, yes, you're right. No such thing as a high tackle. It's really called dangerous play.
Dangerous play.
So he's marking it, saying yes, he played above the shoulder or used his shoulder as a weapon. So
we'd like to take a second to thank one of our sponsors for helping us make this live stream possible, Hawaii Speed and Quickness. Hawaii Speed and Quickness's mission is to provide any child access to exceptional sports training and mentoring to maximize personal success and healthy living, regardless of geographic, financial, or demographic circumstance. Visit HawaiiSpeedandQuickness.com to find out more about their programs. Line out here for USD. Both teams lifting really well, and San Diego State able to pick that one off.
I believe that's Vassar, correct?
Looked like Vassar taking that one into contact. He had a look outside, decided to hold on to it.
A knock on, no advantage gained, and Toreros will get the put in. When you say lift, that's a term that they use in the lineout where a larger player will take normally a taller or skinnier player and they'll lift him at the highest points. And what they do is they lean them inside into that gauntlet. They don't just lift them straight up. So it takes quite a lot of work and a lot of practice.
A lot of practice, a lot of timing, a lot of trust in your teammates. Those guys, they'll be 4 or 5 feet up in the air with their hands only reaching out for the ball, not for balance. So you're really depending on your teammate to hold on to you in that position.
Lewis with the put in. Michael Ramos, the 8-man, takes it. The only 2 that can touch the ball in a scrum. That is, again, the scrum half who puts the ball in and the 8-man at the back of the pack. We have another whistle, and it's against the Aztecs. I believe pulling down. I did see him make a call. It's basically almost like an illegal tackle.
Referees in rugby doing a really good job over the last few years keeping players from getting into those dangerous situations, whether it's a lifted player off the ground during a tackle, preventing that tackler from turning their elbows up too high and dumping that player on their head, making sure the player is getting returned safely to the ground. I think has been a priority for a lot of rugby referees over the last few years, making the game a lot safer for everybody.
And it's truly amazing that you can watch a football game on a Sunday afternoon and you'll see multiple injuries all day long, whereas you can watch multiple rugby matches and the worst you might see is an abrasion. It's just a controlled game. It's controlled by the players. They respect each other. They just don't do certain things. And the referee, obviously, safety is paramount.
You know, we all play rugby and watch rugby because we love the physicality of it. That's a big part of it, for sure, the intensity and how physical the sport is. But everybody wants to be able to walk back to their car after the game or
make it to the after party.
Exactly.
So again, not a lot of scoring. A lot of facing off between these two teams in the inaugural San Diego Founders Cup between the Aztecs and the Toreros. And the Aztecs gain possession on the far side. They look to set up. Yet to see a huge breakaway by one or the other team. Been a lot of forwards play. Looks like the Toreros have picked that and are now in possession.
The referee's got his arm up for advantage to USD.
And I thought I saw a USD knock on, but Barry's
right there in the middle of the action. He's seeing where all the hands are.
Well, he's looking at the ball. That's his primary concern. Where's ball? Make it available. Let's see it. And he's saying, no, come back at the mark. He's saying, come back to my toe, please. The mark is at my toe. Don't try to go quick because he had his back turned. And that's kind of cheating. So he says, no, bring it back. We'll go from here. Can't tell if they're electing to go for points yet.
Looks like they went to touch.
Touch?
They'll take those few extra meters, set up for the line out, see if they can drive one home. Neither team has really been in a position to set up a maul yet. Curious to see if the USD pack is going to go for that here.
Is that a Fashion Valley Mall or a Mission Valley Mall?
Either one. I think we're east of both, right? So they're just going to have to do a good old-fashioned forwards maul. There are so many things that the forwards do that I never had to do as a player that I'm so thankful for. And mauling is one of them because
spoken like a true back.
They do go for the maul here. It didn't really end up going anywhere. And looks like they've been forced into touch.
Yeah.
Trujillo there.
San Diego State right on their own sidelines. Pushed the Toreros out of touch and gained possession of the ball. The 38th minute. We have 40-minute halves. A brief halftime. Oh, wind is kicking up. I see the Torero tent on the opposite side, acting like a kite.
Number 3 for the Aztecs, Seth Trujillo, doing clutch things at both ends of the pitch, scoring that only try of the game so far, and then getting USD's maul pushed into touch there. I'm sure he had some help from teammates, but he seemed to be spearheading on that one.
Another high tackle. This time by the Toreros. So here come the Aztecs attacking. They'll boot the ball, and I'll bet you $100 it's going to come right at us.
Matt Blake been doing a good job finding touch on these penalties.
Wind's going his way. And the ball is actually kicked out of the playing field. So we'll bring in a new ball, but we'll continue here with the Aztecs in position, and they'll have the line out. Now, when they played a couple of weeks ago, I did not get to see that game. What was the score of that game?
That one ended 7-7.
So it's
looking like a similar score line today.
Yeah. He's talking, the whistle's drawn, he's talking to Mike Lewis.
I think Lewis appealing the throw wasn't straight there. Just a cultural note about rugby in general, talking to the referee when you're not the captain is pretty dangerous sometimes.
That is taboo. And when you do talk to him, you have to wait till the whistle is blown and say, sir, may I ask you about that last call?
The scrum half naturally will have a lot more interaction with the referee simply because of this occasion right here, the scrum. Both scrum halves and the referee are right next to each other, so they interact with each other a little bit more than the average player, but you still have to be mindful of that position that the referee has.
Lewis gets it to Sandoval. Sandoval gets it out to Devin Hubel. Coming back to the big guys in the hands of Oliver Kane, the captain. And he rolls forward in the center of the field.
Good groundwork there by Kane. He has that one move and he turns it into an extra meter for USD.
Varco, he takes the ground with very little challenge by the Aztecs. That's interesting.
think they only had Lewis sealing off that ruck as well. He did a good job to hold off the only opposition. I would have liked to see the Aztecs maybe commit another guy there.
That's, I believe, the half. Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. San Diego State in our inaugural San Diego Founders Cup have the lead 7-0 against the USD Toreros.
Before we take a break in the action, we'd like to take a second to recognize our wonderful live streaming team from TVX Video. TVX Video has quite the history covering local sports here in San Diego, Southern California, and the Southwest United States. They specialize in sports video for team training, college recruitment, and live streaming games just like this one. They take pride in their ability to bring you live local sports, and the TVX sports team wants to say thanks for tuning in. It really means a lot. Visit tvxvideo.com for more information on their video production and live streaming services.
All right, folks, we hope you're enjoying this first live stream of the inaugural San Diego Founders Cup. We'll be back with the second half in just a little while. 18. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are way up here on the Mesa at San Diego State University for the inaugural San Diego Founders Cup between the Aztecs and the Toreros from just down the street at the University of San Diego. Score right now at the beginning of the second half, Aztecs on top 7-0. It's been a tough battle, equal battle, no big breakaways. Raleigh?
Neither team really breaking away from the other one, like you said. During the break, we were talking about different tactics that the teams are doing. We kind of, it sounds like across the board, we kind of want to see the teams get a little riskier with what they're doing offensively.
Beautiful kickoff attempt and fumbled by the Aztecs. Possession retained by the Toreros, but the whistle's blown.
I'm thinking that first drop went backwards according to the referee, and then USD looked like they might have knocked it on.
Yes.
As they tried to take possession. Boy, that could have been really deadly for USD if they had gotten control of that ball right off the kickoff.
And we talked about it in pregame off camera, but one of the big things is hesitation. And what I saw there was two guys totally hesitating over, oh, should I go get the ball? Should I just go get it? Go get it. Because like the law, oh, and it's collapsed. The scrum has collapsed. That's a very dangerous thing. So the referee's first and foremost going to check the players. Yep, we do have a player that got a little twisted up. Yeah, it could be your ribs. It could be your shoulder. It could be your neck. When you have that kind of inertia going at you, man, and you said it, I think, in the beginning of the game, as a back, we really don't appreciate how tough it is to play.
I think we
in
saw
the forward pack.
I think we saw the prop there, number 1 from USD, Tyler Shelley, giving the hooker from San Diego State a little pat on the shoulder. The hooker for San Diego State, Andrew Mosqueda, was down after that. The hooker is really in a vulnerable position there in the middle of the front row. Their arms are up on the shoulders of their props. All their weight is being supported by those two guys. There's a lot of trust going into that scrum as well.
Another mishap by the Aztecs back line. Vassar had a great move. It was knocked on. And we were saying at the half that Vassar probably one of the most athletic backs in the Aztecs back line. But the boys around him, there are just a couple little knock-ons, little slips, mental, physical slips. And back we go with the Toreros inside Aztec territory.
Yeah, just not quite connecting on that last one. It looked like they had some space and maybe just a bit of a jump on the USD back line there too.
We have a nice steep back line for the Toreros closest to us, but they're trying to break away on the weak side. Referee says, no. Let's bring it back. It'll be Torero's ball still, but they lost him maybe a meter or two. Or is it? We've lost visual with the ref. I can't see who he's given possession to. It looks like Aztecs have the ball in their hand. So
yeah, Elliott Kay's holding on to that one.
Yep.
Looks like he's going to have the put in. Not sure what the referee saw in that last one, but we're going to move forward.
It was quick. Steep back line for the Aztecs to their left, and they get it out as quickly as they can. And there's the loop.
Great looping run.
And some speed. Oh, and a knockout punch by the Toreros, and they regain. That's the 8-man taking it. Michael Ramos, he holds it in the center. Lewis, quick pick to the big man. Oliver Kane, the center.
I think that was number 15, the fullback for USD, Devin Blueville, knocked that one loose. Did a great job there.
And a knock on. And that's by one of the replacements. I believe that's Aiden Whitcomb into the game. So a quick fumble by the replacement at the hat, Whitcomb. Gives the Aztecs the ball. Kane again. He'll do the put in.
For those of you watching from home, you can hear the referee with the cadence for that scrum. He'll say crouch, bind, and set. So the opposing teams are actually grabbing onto each other to make that scrum happen.
Aztecs charging to their own side, getting their fans all fired up. But they lose a few. And a penalty. Again, players not playing on their feet, diving down. This will set up the Aztecs now. They're just over midfield. They'll go for the quick kick for touch. Maybe gain, hopefully 20, 30 meters if it's a good straight kick. That is. And yes, excellent. So here we go, Aztecs.
Matt Blake doing a really good job on those kicks to touch. When you're that close to the touch line, to kick the touch like that becomes a little bit more difficult just because of your angle. It's hard to actually get some good territory on that, and he got a good 10 or 15 meters on that one, and he's consistently helped his team gain some territory throughout the match.
It's like a golf shot where you keep it low. You know, you don't want to give it too much air because that ball will float. So he got a nice low kick on that with plenty of distance. And here come the Aztecs to the outside right. Moving left with possession. Now they'll set up to the right. USD doing their best to set up a big gate, a blocked wall, and they do. Doesn't go far. Player scrambling to get back onside. And a bit of a breakaway.
We're starting to see the hands come together a little bit for the San Diego State team.
And a push out, and here come the Aztecs. A little bit difficult to see because their numbers are bled out on the back of their jersey in red on black. So pardon us if we don't get the names right away, but we'll do our best. They're pushing to the far corner to our left. Maybe 6-7 meters out.
San Diego State still with the ball, quick pick and go.
Yeah, this is crucial. They must keep the ball. So be smart.
Looks like another knock on by the Aztecs.
And it is. But this is they've had a good pack, so maybe if the pack can charge and regain the ball, because they've got the Toreros pinned back. Toreros are looking to get that ball to the fullback and kick this out of danger.
Yeah, that's not a good position for USD to be in. They do have the put in here.
And he's way over there, so I'm going to say maybe more likely a center. Again, get out of danger. Ball's coming out. Quickly, and there's the kick. High floater right in front of us. Well done.
Number 11 there for the Aztecs, Donovan Prince, trying to pull a fast one. Taking the quick line out off of one of the fans watching the game. The referee says, no, sir.
Good point. Ball cannot touch any spectator. If it does, can't do a quick play. Tapped out to the Aztecs. They see a hole. Set. Taken to the outside. They have speed, they have possession, but can they hold on? Quick whistle by Barry.
Looks like it's going to be a scrum for USD. I think he was calling a forward pass there. I believe it was Alex Christensen for the Aztecs who took that one into contact, and then just trying to get that last offload. Might have sent a small forward pass to Vassar.
Again, the only time the Aztecs have played within their own 5 meters has maybe been twice this whole game. This game's been played in the middle of the field, whether it's the 22 or the 40 or the 50, but boy, they got to take advantage of when they get inside the red zone there.
They really do. You hate to see that knock-on happen within that 5-meter area, especially when you've got USD in such a tight corner.
Well, that's why
that break is a real shame for the
college
Aztecs.
rugby is such a growth period in your career. You learn to settle down because you're so jacked up all the time. I remember playing college out in Arizona, and I think back to how I played now or how I played at the highest level. I was a maniac.
Well, one great thing about college rugby is that a lot of these guys are picking up this game for the first time. They're learning everything from scratch. They're learning all the different rules and all the different tactics and positions and everything. So to see these guys, coming out and playing a game at this level is really impressive, especially for those newer rugby players.
So let me ask you a question, Raleigh. If you were a coach and you had every sport at college to choose from, where would you cherry pick a really good athlete? What sport would you pick?
The two things that come to mind are football and soccer. You can translate a lot of those things into it. I was a soccer player growing up, and the conditioning aspect helped a lot in that. The physical aspect was just something I had to kind of learn a little bit about. And on the other side, the football side, those guys have that physicality already most of the time. Turnover to USD here.
Cherry picked to the outside, and advantage gained by the Aztecs. No knock on. Another tackle, another high tackle against the Toreros. Against the Aztecs, excuse me.
Nice heads-up play there by USD number 22, Paul Habib, to pick that one off. Try to get it outside to Dylan Farrar on the wing, and they weren't quite able to connect, but they catch a break here. They'll kick the touch and move it up a few meters.
Quick kick the touch. Habib with a great breakaway. That's a total cherry pick. He read that. He saw the pass coming, and he had one quick step on it.
He did. He was sitting back. He saw what San Diego State was trying to do. He put himself in a good position, and he was able to nip that ball out of the air.
So back to my question. Mine would be water polo. Talk about condition. Talk about tough athletes. Man, those kids are tough.
They get physical too. And I mean, aquatic fitness is a completely different kind of fitness than running around on a field. So I agree with you. That's a good one.
Oh, Lewis with a rare high pass out. We call that a hospital pass. But Toreros, midfield, moving the ball from right to left.
I really like his work rate, Lewis, for USD at number 9. You can see him tracking the play. He takes that time, those kind of slower jogs to get over there, and then he finds himself in the thick of things again, and he continues to make plays.
Our main referee says the ball touched the line, so be a line out for the Aztecs. Each defense, good 15 meters back from and the ball not thrown straight. Too much advantage, and SD has decided to scrum. They, too, trust their pack. They think they can do something in a set piece that they can't do in a lineout.
Looks like we might have had a substitution for USD within the last minute. Felix Morales coming on wearing number 20. Not sure who he went off for, but he's involved in that pack and that scrum right now. And actually, that's him who just picked the ball. It looks like he is filling in at number 8.
Again, physical in the middle. Not a lot of gain. Set by the fullback, Uval.
Looked like a little bit of indecision there from USD. They had a backline set. They had the ball in plenty of space and just some hesitation. Not sure what to do on that one. You got to be ready for your next move before that ball comes your way.
Ball knocked on by the Toreros. Aztecs will scrum. Great view on your screen right now. Very close to us here on the sidelines.
Yeah, you can get a good look of the kind of the breakdown of that scrum. You see those front rows. They crouched, and now they were attempting to bind onto each other. You can hear the referee tell them to crouch. He'll set them up about 1 meter apart. That's what he's doing right now. Just giving some instruction on how to keep that scrum stable.
And notice how he walked around on that second whistle and he saw something on the opposite side. So all it takes is a referee to go over to the other side, and now you can't quite get away with something you might thought you were going to get away with. Ball is out. Aztecs attacking. Not quite across the gain line, and finally across the gain line, but taken by the Toreros.
That was number 22, Paul Habib, again.
Yeah, but he must have done something prior to that, because it is Aztecs ball. And they're looking to kick for touch. And they do. It'll be there, put in a line out. Again, we're back on the Mesa here at San Diego State University for the inaugural San Diego Founders Cup. Our Aztecs, the home team, up 7-0 on the Toreros.
A little bit of cloud cover coming in. Give these players a little break from the sunshine.
Oh, lovely volleyball punch back to the back line, and a miscue.
Picked up by Dylan Farrar for USD. We'll see what they can do on the counter.
They got numbers in the middle. Can they push? Taken by Jake Mitten. And a high fly ball to center field. Oh, and that may travel out. And if it does, it will come back to the point of where it was kicked. Basically what the referee's telling everybody is that's kind of like cheating. Like, you're stalling the game. You kicked it out of bounds, out of the back of the end zone. So let's just bring it back to where you kicked it, and we'll restart play.
I do like the spontaneity of that box kick from Mike Lewis, though. He's showing us a lot of really good stuff today. Might have caught his own team off guard a little bit with that one, but he did a good job bringing everybody on side right afterwards. He's clearly got plenty of gas left in the tank, and he's going to be looking to put a dent in this 7-0 deficit that they find themselves in right now.
Well, he certainly caught the Aztecs off guard because there was no one back to get that ball. Aztecs attacking, but they fumble the ball. Advantage given to the Toreros. They'll take it. Possession is Torero ball. Coming out weak side. That's number 10, Jordan Sandoval. Lewis gives it to the 8-man, Michael Ramos. He sets it. Aztecs looking to roll off here. Oh, and a miscue. Advantage given to, no advantage gain. And the Aztecs will get to put it in. Oh, and a little scrub. Maybe a little acting too.
Definitely some theatrics there from Jake Mitten.
And here comes the assistant referee, Alexander Grieva, to say, yeah, there was some extracurricular activity. I don't know if it was serious.
Here comes the replay. We'll take a look at it. He and Jake Vassar got into it just for a quick second, but didn't look to be anything too serious.
He may call the two players. Yeah, that's usually what a referee will do. He'll call them over. And I have reffed many a game, and the funny thing that I like to do is I always like to say, "Are you guys okay? Anybody got an owie? You want to play rugby or you want to fight?" "We want to play rugby, sir." "Okay, well, no more of that. Let's go. Next time it's going to be a penalty."
Guarantee everybody on the field has some owies. You get stepped on, you get kicked. It's just something you learn to live with as a rugby player. These two actually weren't the two involved in that. It must have been the primary play that
right. So I think he's talking to captains. Yeah. You call the captains over and say, "Hey, if you can't control your boys, that's your job."
He's going to talk to everybody, looks like. Nope, just bring it on for the scrum.
Say, bring it together, boys. Let's play rugby.
Just another example of the emphasis that the referee has on the game. That is one of the things that makes rugby what it is.
And it could lose control without a doubt.
Exactly.
But without a good referee. Bad referee, all kinds of nastiness can go on.
Aztecs
dig it out.
Doing a good job there. We actually have number 21, Max.
A skip and a scissor, where two players crisscross each other. Not a lot of gain, but Good moves. I like to see the moves. Like to see some production.
Yeah, difficult for the defensive line to keep track of which guy they're guarding when they switch like that. It was well timed. They might just not have hit the gap they wanted to.
Aztecs punching now. They've got support. Here it comes. Now they're moving the ball with consistency. This is the third phase. And stolen!
Big pick by
number 10, Jordan Sandoval. With a huge cherry pick in the center of the field. For the moment, they are 5 points on the board, close to tying this up. And he's very happy about that.
He looked like he saw that one since before breakfast this morning. He was just waiting for it, and he hit the gas pedal. Nobody was going to catch him.
And nice wheels. That boy can run.
He's got some speed.
Yeah.
Here comes the replay.
And he'll take the kick as well after kick. Look at the anticipation here. Now we're back to live. This is great when you get to score and you get the extra point. It's just extra special.
I spent a couple years at number 10, and being in that position, score a try and then take the kick. You definitely want to take that 90 seconds that you have to take that kick.
Give it to your teammates too.
Yeah, give it to your teammates, give it to yourself, let yourself calm down a little bit. Especially after a 40-yard run.
If you've ever been up to Kern County, here's the replay. Oh, no. We're in Kern County. It's up near Bakersfield. Playing in a sevens tournament. I scored 21, 22 tries, and I kicked all my conversions. I was in a zone. I was dead afterwards. I thought I was going to die.
Some people say that a rugby kicker is worth their weight in gold.
Yes,
you can definitely you can have a big impact on the overall scoreline, especially if you can do what's called a drop goal, which can be taken at any point during open play.
Yeah.
Really difficult to do. You have to let the ball bounce on the ground before you kick it, and you got to put it through those posts. And there have been World Cups won with drop goals.
So in the second half, the Toreros match the number, and we're tied at 7 in our inaugural San Diego Founders Cup. Quick whistle. It was knocked on by the Toreros. Aztecs across midfield will have the scrum. You're watching TVX Sports Videos live stream of the inaugural San Diego Founders Cup. We're tied at 7. Lots of rugby to play here. Aztecs with the put in. It's the 8-man back to the scrum half, right in front of their bench. They got to slow it down here, control it.
If you like what we're doing here on the TVX Sports Video YouTube channel, you can help support us by becoming a patron. Head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/TVX Sports Video.
Aztecs taken out of touch by the Toreros.
Donovan Prince there put himself in a good spot. Looked like he was going to stay in bounds for a second. He had some good leg drive going. That additional USD player coming over to finish things off, getting him into touch though.
Here we go. When you're tied, you're now thinking about two things. The clock, first and foremost. And secondly, where's their weakness? Where can we attack?
Where do you think those weaknesses are for both teams, Pierre?
I personally think it's the back line for the Toreros. I think that if the Aztecs can set something quickly and get the ball out, skip a couple of players, get the ball out, I think they could be beat in their back line. Great kick down the center. We have players back. 2 players, perfect position. If he plays his other player, but he runs towards his other player, which is counterintuitive sometimes in rugby. You should try to spread the field, not narrow it. They bring it back to center. It's on the deck. It'll be played out here. Set here by the Aztecs. Toreros must roll away. There we go. The referee wants to see the ball. He does not, because they are just hanging on a little too tight. And that's illegal. When you're on the ground, you need to just take your hands off the ball and roll away. Referee just says, let me see the ball. And if you can't see the ball, you're going to get penalized.
Yeah, the referee will give you that moment, that second, to kind of make your move. Once you're on the ground, you got to say, okay, I'm on the ground, I've been tackled, I'm being held to the ground, I got to give the ball up. You try to release it towards your team, but players from both teams come in to try and either poach the ball or to protect the ball. Can get stuck down there sometimes. You got to let it go.
And the result is Toreros kick a great ball to touch. Now they're inside their 22 and attacking. I don't think it's a fitness thing with the Aztecs. They look tough as nails, but they are starting to crack here in the second half.
Apart from the momentary hands on hips from a few players in the first half, we haven't seen anybody really getting tired. Everybody looks like they're still ready to go.
Yeah, well, they just gained possession of that line out, so well done. Trying to get it outside, keep it inside and pushed out. Oh, and taken into the crowd. Getting a little testy here in the second half. Let's see if our fans are okay.
It could be a hazard being 1 or 2 meters off the touchline at a rugby game.
Here's the replay. Now watch this aggressiveness right here. Good push out, takes him to touch, but that gives new meaning to rugger hugger.
I think it was that little bit at the end, just the hand on the back of the head that set him off.
Taken by the Toreros. Lewis spins it out.
Good read by Jake Bassler. Nice shoot up to make that tackle.
Yeah. Morales, number 20, in for the Toreros. Tried to take it outside, but he got met. And that was a good physical tackle by the Aztecs. And again, a mishap sends the Toreros back 10 and sets up the Aztecs for a large kick. That gains a few. And they'll have the ball in the put-in. Line out.
That'll fire both teams up a little bit. Big tackles on both sides.
Again, they're got to be worried about the clock at some point. It's tough to keep track in your mind how much time has gone by in 40 minutes, but your body sometimes will tell you. Ball's turned over now. We'll have a scrum here for the Toreros.
Both teams with just over about 12 minutes to work with here, and they're effectively playing 0-0. Be interesting to see what they do with those last few minutes, whether they decide to take some more risks or continue to be somewhat conservative.
Well, they're being conservative now because I'm looking back at the fullback, and he is weighty. He is back on his 22-meter line. He might be expecting a kick. And he's just being careful, but there it is.
Sandoval was looking for it.
He saw it. And it splits them. Now they hesitate, but they've got help.
USD.
The 15-meter line, moving the ball out. Quick kick to touch. Torero ball. Still inside Aztec territory.
USD doing a great job coming up after that kick to close off any hope that San Diego State had to counter off of that long kick from Sandoval.
This is Cam Madaifar He'll be throwing the ball in. Perfect throw. Lewis gets it out to Felix Morales. Midfield. Back to the weak side. Quick tap. Toreros still with the ball. Getting aggressive. Set. Toreros trying to do what they can in the middle of the field. Oh, a quick grab and go. Aztecs trying to roll away. Again, they're deciding that might be the play here. If they can gain 3-4 meters each time, pick and go.
They've done it consistently for the last 4 or 5 phases.
That's 3 in a row. They found a weak link. He's held the ball. And you cannot do that. Each team penalized now in the last 10 minutes for the same infraction. And I think the best word to describe it is it must be a continuous flow. If you go to ground, you have a continuous moment to go to ground, but then you must set the ball for other players to play.
Another thing that the referee will just dictate as the game goes on. That's Jake Mitten with a big carry, dragging some San Diego State Aztecs with him.
Toreros pushing down, trying to make something happen. They have the wide side of the field here. They choose to pick and go. Aztecs must get back on side. There they go. Pick and go again. That's our second phase with a gain of 1 or 2 meters. They see something in the Aztec defense, a weakness on that outside edge. They're gaining. And try scored. Toreros on pick and goes.
You can almost see it coming. The number of bodies that USD had committed to the breakdown area compared to San Diego State. We'll get a number on that try score in just a second here. San Diego State had their back line set up. It looks like that was number 8, Michael Ramos, with the try there.
He's pumped up. He's put his Toreros ahead.
Inside the last 10 minutes as well, it's going to give his team a big boost. We'll see how
scored at about the 31-minute mark. We have less than 9 minutes to play in our inaugural San Diego Founders Cup. It's going to make quite the difficult kick, not like in football where they use hash marks, but where you score the try, whether it be in the corner, they bring the ball directly out from the point at which you touch the ball down, and you must make that kick. So that adds 30 meters to that kick.
Yeah, the angle's playing in your head, and then the distance itself has also changed. You got to be far enough back from the try line to give yourself the angle to put it through those posts.
Here's the kick. And it's good.
Flags go up. 14-7 here with less than 10 minutes to play. USD with the advantage.
Let's see if San Diego State on their home turf can come back in the about 7.5 minutes now.
We had a field invasion there for a second.
I would have not thought that they saw the weakness being on the outside. Maybe the flankers or just that weak side, off of every set piece. They just picked and go.
They kept chipping away at it with those quick picks and goes, and like we said, when they were in the middle of the field, they were picking up 1 meter, 2 meters each time. And when you're in that lethal of an area, you can smell that try line. You're just trying to get it across the chalk.
So let's see if the Toreros play conservatively and just try to hang on to the ball, keep it in the center of the field, keep it in the hands of the forwards. No, it goes to the backs, and boom, a big kick. Let's see if the Aztecs can pick it up before it goes. And they do. They keep the ball in, but not a lot of support.
Big tackle there.
And the advantage arm is out for the Toreros.
Alex Lynn with a big hit to keep the ball over here for USD, and that's huge. That was the purpose of that kick.
Pick and go, pick and go, pick and go. Unbelievable. Try scored. Toreros back-to-back tries.
It seems they definitely found a chink in the armor there.
Both set up by a deep kick. Both scored on a pick and go.
I wonder if this was head coach for USD, Charlie Purdon's tips during halftime. I wonder if he said to try and implement some of these kicks, play for territory a little bit, because we see them back in their own half, and then they've moved the ball 40 meters, and San Diego State's getting caught back in that area. The back three not really linking up to make plays to get out of that danger zone and come back to the middle of the field where they have the numbers. And then they're utilizing that pick and go.
We talked about it before, like just when you have a set piece, the amount of inertia that you're putting into that. So if you're wasting time and wasting energy, just banging heads all day, he probably said, hey, let's kick the thing deep. Let's make some plays.
Let's not do it in the middle of the field. Let's go over there and do it. And then if we catch San Diego State making a mistake,
and it's good.
We're within 5 meters of scoring. Jordan Sandoval doing a great job to get those conversion kicks. That's really difficult to do late in the game, especially when you've been involved with, probably a good 75% of the plays offensively for your side.
Less than 5 minutes to play. About 4.5. The USD Toreros lead 21-7. Lewis, exact same take as the last kickoff. He'll set this up. Let's see if he puts it back for that deep kick again. No, they decided to move it downfield. Taken away. No, offsides. Offsides by the Aztecs. Now they get a beautiful kick, but it'll be their ball again. They'll go for touch. Very good kick. That was a boomer. But the marker. So it's not where we visually see it go out. It's where it crosses the line. Crosses the touch line.
Yeah, the assistant referee on the far side is going to mark that where the ball goes into touch or out of bounds. And the near side assistant referee, who's actually right in front of our table on the opposite side of the field now, is going to mark the offside line for the defensive team.
He makes a great door.
Not a great window.
Aztecs trying, but Toreros again, pick and go, and pushing, and moving. Ball is set, but ball is out. Ball is out. It is a free ball. Whistle blown. We're taking a timeout. Referee timeout. He's going to confer with Luann Campbell, the assistant referee. She might have, she's gesturing that something happened, calling the captains. And we have a player in 23.
Cedric Ndondele getting talked to by the referee here. Looks like it was a high tackle, another dangerous play call. Probably just a conversation to explain what happened, explain what to do next time.
Again, you don't want penalties because A, they get the penalty kick and then they get possession if it goes to touch downfield. So that penalty could cost them 40, 50 meters, And exactly that. Gained about 30, 35 meters on that kick. Toreros take over inside Aztec territory late in the game.
Jordan Sandoval really doing a great job with these kicks, showing everybody why he's wearing that number 10 shirt.
Your player of the game?
watching Mike Lewis work all day has been great. He's made good decisions with the ball in hand. He's been brave in the ruck. He's taken guys on one-on-one. He's worked hard for his team. He's made good decisions with his kicks as well. And it's just been fun to watch. That's my choice. What about you?
I would have to agree. And on a mistake, a rare mistake by the Toreros, the Aztecs have the ball. They can't seem to deliver. And the clock is ticking. Trying to get it out wide, trying to find a hole. There's a quick dish. They need to move. They need to move quick. They give it to the big man.
And Gondole is brought down.
Quick pitch out to the wing. He gains quite a bit of ground. But he went to touch. It'll be Torero's ball. And a line out.
USD can feel they're getting close now. I'm not sure if anybody's telling them how much time is left from the sideline, but they can tell they're close, and if they can just hold on, they'll be very pleased with themselves. You can tell they're fired up on the field. Everybody's on the same page.
A quick mistake in the lineout for the Toreros gives the Aztecs one last chance for magic. They spin it out wide, but taken by number 14, Dylan Farrar. He sets it, and they will take their time.
Felix Morales with a pick and carry there, picks up a few meters for his team. Just about a minute left to go here, and USD still pushing.
Pick and go to the left. Set. Pick and go to the left. They love this play. They are going for 3 in this half. At the 22-meter line, I believe. Pushing across. Ball is down. Let's see the ball. Here they go. Pick and go. They're getting close. 30 seconds, unofficially. And a try scored with less than 30 seconds on the clock in our second half. The USD Toreros stamping this victory with one final try. And look at how happy Lewis is.
So many high fives taking place on the field. I can't tell who scored the try. Everybody's psyched about it.
But you know who won today? Rugby won today.
Absolutely.
What a great day. Our inaugural San Diego Founders Cup will be taken home by the boys on the other side, on their little mesa in Linda Vista, the University of San Diego. Time has elapsed, but once a try has been made, the kick is allowed. Referee telling the players to hold behind. And no good. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. USD takes it 26-7 against San Diego State University in our inaugural San Diego Founders Cup. You're watching TVX Sports Videos live broadcast, live streaming. We hope you enjoyed the game. It was a great one. Beautiful sunshiny day here in America's finest. SD fans are elated. My name is Pierre Charmazon. I'm with Raleigh Corman. We've enjoyed the day. Raleigh?
Thanks for joining us, folks. Great day for both sides out here. USD comes out on top, and they're going to take that Founders Cup home with them to the other side of town.
We appreciate you tuning in. We hope to see you again at the next game.